Hi there. In this video we're going to be looking at two battery adapters from Einhell batteries to Parkside tools. You might be wondering, why did I buy two and most likely different ones? Well, first one that I bought, I don't think it fits, so I decided to buy a new one. Anyway, so let's get inside the box and see what we have here. And we should be reaching the adapter now, and daughter's dropping stuff in the background. Hey, what's in here? Some sort of instruction. Okay. We'll check that also. And this is freaking big, as you can see. Compared to a battery, this is a 4 amp sealed battery, so it's about the size of a 2.5 amp non-sealed, maybe just a tad bigger on these directions, but height should be more or less the same. So this is freaking big, but it's much better than those 3D printed ones that many people sell. I don't want my tool breaking in my hand and the battery falling out, so yeah. Anyway, let's see what plugs were. I think this looks like a Parkside, and so then this should be the Einhell one. Are we locked? Yep, we are locked. So if we want to get this out, we need to press this and push the adapter out. Something like that. Anyway, okay, seems to be working. And in here we have the Parkside locking mechanism. The model EIN18PAR Parkside. Why does it have this in here? Probably they glued it wrong the first time. Doesn't matter. Anyway, let me get the Parkside tool and I will show you why this one doesn't work on mine. And here is the tool itself. Great. Good video production, isn't it? Video production value. Well, let's try and slide this in here. So, now it wasn't properly aligned. So, going in, going in. Nope. So this particular tool, because it has the vertical motor, doesn't give us enough room in here. So I think I'm saying so 100 times a minute, sorry about that. I decided to buy a different one which does not lock in from this direction. So the Einhell battery will also come from this direction into it. And that should give us enough room for this particular tool. For other tools, this combination should be perfect. If you want to better see the instructions of the first one, so you cannot charge the Einhell battery in a Parkside charger. You need to get it out from the adapter and charge it like that. And this is a 4 amp hour Einhell battery, the previous non-sealed generation. So yeah, this is still bigger, so don't get me wrong, it's still bigger for sure, but not that much bigger. But anyway, this basically, as you can see, doubles the thickness of the battery, so you cannot really use the batteries that are already thick, because it starts to not make any sense. Yeah, look at this. But the fit itself is really good. So it's extremely snug on the battery. Let me try and wiggle it. You can barely hear something. There is a bit of sound, so it's not 100% perfect fit, but quite snug anyway. It doesn't wobble too much. I think on this one it doesn't at all. So maybe this battery it's a bit worn out by itself also. But I'm thinking this battery, this one fit in here? Because this is a tad bit shorter. Yeah, dropping everything. This weighs like almost nothing because it's plastic with a bit of metal in it. It's, yeah, doesn't have any electronics or anything like that. It's locked in. It is freaking locked in. So with the old batteries, you actually have enough room at the limit, but there's enough room in here. And yes, it is quite thick, so this is why I mostly want to use new generation batteries that are thinner on this direction, so we don't protrude as much lower, but not with this adapter. But it seems this adapter works in any tool. With the old style batteries, the 4 amp one at least, the 6 amp and 8 amp hour ones, I don't think they will fit because they have the size of this one, they are longer. But anyway, this is the first time I can actually press the power on this one and see if it works. Slowly. It works. Yeah, the chuck isn't moving because we are in hammering mode. Let's go to auto rotation. Perfect, it's working. Now let's check out the other adapter. Surprise, surprise, it's a box in a box. So I need to open this thing. And here we have it. Okay. Einhell 18PAK. What's the difference? Let me get this one out. Cannot really do it with one hand, I think. Or can I? Well, actually I can. So one is Einhell 18PAR and one is Einhell 18PAK. Okay. And yes, this tell us they have 18 volts and Parkside says 20 volts. It's the same battery voltage, but this Einhell tell us the voltage at nominal voltage and Parkside tells it at maximum voltage. So it's the same thing. Don't worry about that. Now, let's see. Yeah, as light as the other one, so no difference here whatsoever. Okay, let me slide it. Can I actually slide it in? Why can I not? I probably need both hands. Oh, interesting design of the connections in here for this one. Yeah, I need both hands, so be back in a second. This one seems to be a much snugger fit. I could barely insert it in here, but it's not moving at all. I prefer this variant, honestly, with the snugger fit. This one less snug, but I will also test this one on this older battery. Maybe it's a bit worn. But up to this moment, let's see the height of them. Yes, obviously we are lower with this variant, although the adapter itself seems to be... Actually no, I was 100% from the picture that it will be taller than the other one, but no, it's not taller. So for me, this makes more sense, this type of adapter. Let me see how I can plug it in here. Yeah, again, need both hands. It's a snugger fit, and I prefer that for sure. Actually, not as snug as I thought, because it is wobbling just a tiny bit. But I never saw an original Parkside battery, so couldn't tell you if they are 100% snug in the tools or not. Like normally Einhell batteries are quite fixed in the tools when you insert them. So for this one we have a bunch of space right here, and the length of the battery protrudes more in this direction. But I'm actually happy that I can use both variants even in this tool, although this one only with this type of older battery, and this one should work with any. So let me try with this. And obviously let's quickly press this just to see what happens. It works as expected. I can tell you for a fact this thing is too snug on the battery, at least on the brand new one, because I cannot really get it out. I need to smack it with something to get it out of here. Yeah, the problem is that this battery is brand new, because I put it on this one and we have just a tiny bit of wobble. So yeah, with an older battery you will not have any extraction problems. Let me see, I can even get it with one hand out. So no issues whatsoever, even with this adapter. Both of them are fine. So this means that actually this one is also snugger on this battery than on the other one. Yep, doesn't wobble absolutely at all. Nothing. So yeah, And weirdly enough, on some tools probably this will be the better choice. So now I've opened up to also Parkside tools, and I can continue to use Einhell batteries that I already have a bunch of for my tools. Weirdly enough, something that I wasn't expecting, they made the contacts through PCBs. The PCBs don't have any electronics on them, don't worry about that. But they just probably found it easier to use the PCBs to have these spring contacts into position. For this particular one, so this model, you can see the contacts are up top only. This one seems to have them more at the middle of it, and this also has a PCB in here for keeping everything in position, again without electronics, that's absolutely for sure. So yeah, at the end of the day it seems both do what they need to. Different insertion directions for the Einhell battery, from here for this one, from here for that one. This one I feel it binding a tad bit, and my father started the fire, if you are wondering what's in the background. I like that noise. Yeah, this is binding just a tiny bit. This feels a bit, yeah, feels really nice, actually, extremely nice. Like, yeah, like the one on the tool, maybe even better. This one, kind of janky, but honestly shouldn't matter. I don't see it getting damaged or not working. So yeah, that's about it for this video. This will be put to good use. And now again I have opened up my environment to also Parkside tools, because for some of their tools they actually have better variants than Einhell. I'm giving an example, this one. Let me show you the model of it. So this rotary hammer actually has extremely good reviews, apart from the latest batch that seemed to have some sort of problem with oil leaking. Mine doesn't seem to have that. And Einhell similar tools have extremely bad reviews and are about almost 2 to 3 times the price. So even if I bought this plus these two things, I'm still cheaper than if I would have bought an Einhell tool, and that from the start has worse reviews and actually has lower power than this one. So a no-brainer in my book, absolutely no-brainer. This is the way to go for this situation. Just wanted to mention something. This actually need to have, I don't know why they used 4 pins in this one, because the tool only has 3, but they actually do need to have at least 3 pins, and I think they have an internal resistor, because otherwise the Parkside tool will not power on. If you just give it 18 or 20 volts, it's not going to power on unless it sees something on the 3rd pin, and most likely these things also have that on the PCBs. And yes, that pin is not being passed through to the Einhell battery, because as far as I know, Einhell has a different configuration for stuff like that, so it wouldn't work. So yeah, probably that's the second reason they decided to have PCBs, because they have a small resistor on them somewhere. And I remembered about this fact when I actually saw something with device connection auto detection. Yep, somebody was saying on a forum that without that some Parkside tools will actually not work. Others will, but some won't. So yeah, it is what it is. If you want a bit more info, right here. And let's see what else do we have. A bit of info about the brand itself for the second one. And I think, yeah, that's all she wrote. You know what? I said I will not open them, but I will open them. But first, let's take a look at PCBWay, today's video sponsor. And here we are on PCBWay.com, and they can help you with PCB prototypes with various numbers of layers.
PCB assemblies, flexible and rigid flex PCBs, advanced PCBs. They can also do CNC and 3D printing and support a various assortment of CAD files. They can also do SMD stencils for you and also have many other possibilities. They even have a module store if you want to buy any, I don't know, modules for example. And yeah, milling, we saw that for a second. They increase the services that they can do for you day after day. So every time I visit their web page, there is something new here, and that's actually quite exciting. So good for you, PCBWay, for doing this. And let's get back to our video.
So there are two design variants, as we can see here. Let me power this thing on to measure the resistance of this little guy right here. So that one will actually allow tools to work with this adapter even if you connect a battery from a different brand. 10 kilo ohms. You see it right there. It's quite clear. 10 kilo ohms. I can measure the resistor itself, but it will be 10 kilo ohms for sure. So that is what Parkside tools expect on this pin right here. Okay, this one glued in place, the PCB itself, and then everything comes back together. It's a nice design because this is actually a separate part, the button itself. It's a bit more compact, maybe that is why it's not actuating as nice as the other one. But yeah, overall you can easily close this thing back up, and yeah, you are done. Everything is on a PCB. Nice. Everything, even the metal in the back. Let me give you a bit more light. I'm not going to take out the PCB because again it's glued and I do not want to remove the glue. But you can see even the metal strips right there. Alright. Are soldered onto the PCB itself. Actually, these are the parts of the metal strips of these guys. So yeah, it's quite a simple. So this one, for example, is going directly to the PCB in here, and this one, I think probably it's going to the other side into this part. Nice. And if you know Chinese, maybe you can read it in here. Minus, minus, plus, and between these two guys a 10 kilo ohm resistor. That's one variant, basically this variant. And now let's see the other variant. This is a bit trickier. So it has everything in here, spring, button, everything is in one case. Bottom part we see there. So the metals actually have an interesting shape. They are held in place with screws. And more or less are inserted from the back, held in place with screws, and protrude to the front. And two decently thick wires, 16 AWG. Quite hard for me to show because my phone is focusing on whatever it can. So be positive, be negative, be positive, Parkside. And in here I cannot really see the resistor, but I'm 99.9% sure it's there. So I'm going to directly measure on top. I don't want to remove these two screws because it's a bit tricky to get to them. They are partially covered by this, so I would need to do, I don't think it's honestly worth it. Overall, these metals again are soldered, so as the other one. But let me measure. If we get the same value, we already know that somewhere in there there's a resistor.
10 kilo ohm. Moved it, sorry about that, let me try again. So 10 kilo ohm for sure. Let me try and make a bit better contact. So this is what Parkside is expecting. A 10 kilo ohm resistor. To fool it into thinking it has original Parkside batteries. And now let me put these thingies back together. For this one, button goes in there. This stays nicely in place right here, which is good. I just need to center the spring on that. Jesus, it's so hard to film in here. Doesn't want to focus on anything. Wires will do what wires do and go wherever they want, but this is always trying to tear itself apart. But it's a nicer and deeper feeling for this overall. So just another school of design, and this is this particular model. So now let me put everything back together. And that's about it for this video. So these are the two decent variants for using Einhell batteries in Parkside tools. Probably there are others out there, but these two looked good enough for me, and they seem to be. So I didn't see anything that would say, I don't want this. No, plastic fine, connections inside fine, simple resistors, and that's about it. So hope this video helps you, in which case please give it a like, check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one.